Good day, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's tourism lesson. I'm Mr. Samuel Innocent Luyanda Nkonyini, a grade 12 tourism educator and HOD from Ekurhuleni South District. This lesson is brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with Salbona Discovery Center. And today we are going to be focusing on customer feedback and satisfaction. Right. It is going to be one of the most questions that learners usually leave out when we mark your papers. So this is going to be part of your question 10 of your prelim papers and also your final papers and also the matric rewrite for some of the learners who will do it. Please do not do a mistake by skipping question 10. It is one of the easiest questions, and this is where you can also get what? 3, 8, or 6, or 12 marks on this question. Right, we are going to be looking at customer feedback and customer satisfaction. My sources are from grade 12 via Africa Tourism Learners book, Focus via Focus, grade 12 learners book, and also Oxford Successful Tourism grade 12 learners book. And some of my activities, as usually, they are from some of our past exam papers from the DBE. Right, so I hope you have pen and paper there with you so that you can jot down one or two things. We are available on our WhatsApp line 063-629-3655, 063-629-3655. This is where you can be able to contact us. So this topic of customer feedback and satisfaction will not only benefit the tourism learners, but also in future, especially those who are going to venture into tourism businesses as well, whereby you're going to learn more or less about how to deal with customers and also about how to deal or to collect what customer feedback and what must you do with that. So it is beyond just grade 12 content. Let's move. My lesson focus for today's objectives. So we are first going to learn about what do you mean by customer feedback, right? We have a customer here, then we also have two words there, feedback. I'm going to try to break them down. We are also going to talk about the importance of excellent service, right? Excellent customer service, which is one of my advocacies, whereby you're going to be dealing about excellent customer service. We're not going to be talking about good service, but the main focus will be on excellent customer service. Then we'll move to giving reasons in terms of why should we collect customer feedback, especially as a tourism business. Why should we collect customer feedback? From there, I will then move to methods, meaning what ways can we use to do what, to gather or to obtain what? Customer feedback. Different method or ways in which tourism businesses or any other business can use to obtain customer feedback. I will then move to discussing what the value or the importance of customer feedback, focusing on the business's profit, right? The value of customer feedback for a business, but focusing on the business's revenue or profit. Then I will move to doing some of the activities. So I hope you have pen and paper there with you. Right. Before we start with me explaining what is a customer feedback, let us try a bit, especially for those learners who never did tourism in grade 10 due to COVID or whatever reasons, and those learners who did not do tourism in grade 11, whereby we're dealing with customer complaints. So I will try a bit to go back to grade 10 and also 11, right? In grade 10, we spoke about the importance of providing service, right? But now I'm trying to combine them together, whereby I'm going to be talking about what? Excellent service. Let's just check first, what is a service? What is a service, right? A service, it is what a tourism business does in order to satisfy who? The tourist needs. In this context, who is the tourist? The tourist will be our customer or our client or clientele, whatever word that you can use. So a service, it is what a tourism business does in order to do what? To satisfy. To satisfy means what? To meet, right? To meet whose needs? The tourist needs, right? The second understanding about a service, we are saying it is an action, right? It is an action done by employees. In this context, employees were in the tourism business, and for whose benefit? For the benefit of the customer and also what? The business. As you can see, the main thing up here, it is about what the tourism business is doing for who? For the customer, for the clientele, or for the client. Right. It is what the tourism business does in order to satisfy or to meet the needs of who? Of the tourist or the client or the customer. It is the action done by employees. What are employees? These are the people employed. People employed by tourism business in this context. So we call them what? Employees, right? It is an action done by the employees in the tourism business for the action of the for the benefit of the customer and also the business. It is when the needs of the customers are met beyond what? Expectations, right? So that is part of service. And a service, listen to this part, it makes the tourist or the customer to remember, right, how they feel about the service. So we need to be very careful here. A service makes the tourist to remember how they feel about the service. It also makes the tourist to feel what? Important or valued. Right, that is what a service. One thing that we need to remember is that we have the characteristics of a service. So a service, it is not, you will see if you're going to study tourism further, whereby we're going to be talking about the characteristics of service. We are saying characteristics of a service. So one character of a service, it is that it is intangible, right? Intangible. What do you mean by that? It means that it is an experience, right? So it is something that cannot be touched. Unlike a product, if you are buying a cell phone, if you are buying a perfume or a cologne and so on, it is something that you can touch, feel, and take it home. But in terms of tourism, when you talk about service, we are saying a service, one of the characteristics, it is that a service, it is intangible, meaning it is what? It is an experience. It is something that you cannot touch, but it's something that you can feel. Hence, we are saying a service makes the tourist to do what? To remember how they feel about their service. So if you provide them excellent service or good service, then they will feel valued and important. Yet again, if you provide them with bad service, then they will also feel what? Angry, and the danger is that they will spread a bad word of mouth advertising and they might even leave your business. So I cannot discuss customer feedback without first trying to explain what do you mean by a service in a tourism context, right? The second character of a service, we are saying a service, it is offered by people, right? It is offered by people. And why by people? Here we are saying it varies, right? It differs. The second character is that service varies. Why? Because they are offered by different what people. Today, these people had a good day and all of them, then they will offer what? Excellent service. One day or the other, they are going through things, then they will offer bad service. So hence, we need to ensure that we need to advocate, especially if you are going to be working in the tourism industry, to make sure that we are consistent with what? Offering what? Excellent service. So we need to ensure that the people who are employed by the tourism industry or in the tourism industry, they know what excellent service, right? The third character is that of service, it is that it is inseparable. What do I mean by this? It means that the person receiving the service and the one giving the service, they cannot be separated, right? So you experience it now. This person is giving the service, and then the other one, it is what it is receiving. I know this is university level, but these are some of the things that we need to remember about what a service, right? So a service cannot be kept for tomorrow, right? So that's another character. Basically, what is a service? It is what a tourism business does in order to satisfy the tourist needs. It is an action done by the employees in the tourism industry for whose benefit? For the benefit of the customer and also the business. A service makes the tourist to remember how they feel about the service. It also makes them what? To feel important or valued. Just like what I'm doing to you now, I am providing what? A service. Right. Let me go back now. So since now we know what is a service, then I come to what I advocate for, of which it is what? Excellent service. This excellent service. I don't want a good service. No. I don't want an average service. No. I don't want a poor service. Right? No. But what is it that I want? I want what? Excellent service. Let us check my own understanding of what do you mean by excellent service. I say excellent service, it is all about meeting who? The customer's needs. It is all about meeting the customer's needs. But above all, we are saying we don't want people to just meet the customer's needs, but we want them to do what? To exceed the customer's expectations. So if we have ordered coffee, for example, I normally make it a pass. Order coffee, and then whoever that is going to be serving me, I ask them, for how long should I wait? And I'm like, no, 3 minutes. I'm like, I am counting. Jokingly, but I mean that. So when you have ordered your coffee and then they said, okay, you will get it after 3 minutes or so, then within 2 minutes, you get your coffee, it is hot, everything there, it is fine, then you know that that person has exceeded your expectations. So we are advocating for excellent service because I am saying it is about what? Exceeding whose expectations? The customer's expectations. So it is about going beyond the call of duty. That's what we need to do if we are working in the tourism industry. Then I am saying, if we do not offer excellent service, meaning if you just offer good service, if you just offer average service, or if you offer a poor service, what will happen? We will lose our clientele, we will lose our customers, we will lose our tourists, they will go somewhere else. Hence, I am saying we need to advocate and ensure that we offer what? Excellent service. What is excellent service? It is all about meeting the customer's needs, but above all, what am I saying? We need to exceed the customer's expectations. The danger that we need to remember is that service is offered by who? By people, right? And the danger is that people vary or people what? Differ. So unlike a product, a service, it is what? It is an experience. So if you work in the tourism industry, you need to make sure that you provide what? Excellent customer service. Are we following? I hope we are following. So we cannot start with customer feedback without first trying to understand what is a service and what do we mean by excellent service. Obviously, when we have excellent service, it means we also have good service, average service, or poor service. Yeah? Poor service, it is the opposite of everything that I have discussed. If you do not meet the customer's needs, if you make people wait longer to get their things, if you have a bad attitude and so on, if you do not keep into your expectations, the things that you've promised your customers, their own marketing tool and so on, then it means that you would be providing what? Poor customer service. Right. Let's move. Look at this picture. Then my question is this good or poor service? Right? This is for visual literacy, right? What are we saying there? So when you analyze this picture, you can tell, oh, it looks like these people were by the restaurant, because there's a table there, there are sauces there, there's pepper, there's salt, and so on. And check what they've written with their tomato sauce and mustard. We waited 30 minutes, and what happened? No service. We waited for 30 minutes, and we received what? No service. So what is this? Is this good or poor service? Then obviously it is going to be what? Poor service. I hope you are getting this. Now, let's get to today's main focus of the lesson, which is what? Customer feedback. So I said to you, I'm going to be breaking down this into two. The first thing we've got what? A customer. And then the second thing we've got what? Feedback. A customer, we know what is a customer. It is a client or a person that buys our tourism products and tourism services. Then what do we call that? A customer. It's a person that buys our services or product. Then that is our customer. Then what is feedback? Feedback, it is information or ideas that we get in this context. From who? From our customer. It is information or ideas that we get from who? From our customers. Then we combine them. What is customer feedback? So customer feedback, it is a tool that businesses, obviously in this context, our tourism businesses, use to find out, right? Remember one thing that we spoke about, if you're doing EMS or economics management sciences, we spoke about market research, right? So customer feedback, it is a tool that businesses use to find out what their customers think and feel about its products and services, right? Remember, I spoke about excellent service. I spoke what is a service. You render a service to who? To the customer. You render your products to who? To the customer. So once they have experienced our service or they have experienced our product, we need to go now and gather what? Customer feedback, right? We need to go and get what? They are saying it is a tool that businesses use to find out what their customers think and feel about what? Its products and services. Then that is what? That is an explanation of a customer feedback. So businesses will do what? They go out there. They go to customers. You will see later when I discuss the benefits and methods to obtain what customer feedback. You will get to know which tools do businesses use to gather this information. So what is customer feedback? It is a tool that businesses use to find out what their customers think and feel about its products and services. That's what we're going to be dealing with just now. Remember, we said you are available on our WhatsApp line 063 629 6355, 063 629 3655. This is whereby we can send us your questions, and then you will see we'll interact with you and respond smoothly. Remember, I said we are busy with tourism and we are dealing with question 10 of your prelim papers and also your DBE November papers. And also for those who are going to do matric rewrite, then you'll also come across this topic but on question 10. Right, let's move. Then now we know what is customer feedback. Then I will move to reasons. Why should we gather customer feedback? Why should businesses go all out, waste money or assets to gather this information, to gather customer feedback? This is what I'm saying. Unless we are told, right? Who is the we in this context? We in this context, obviously, it is the tourism business that offers what? Tourism products and services. Then I'm saying, unless we are told whether we are doing good or bad, then we will not know where to improve. This is very important. Unless we are told where we are doing good or bad, then we will not know where to improve. So meaning the main important thing or reason why we should gather customer feedback, it is so that the tourism business can know the areas where they are doing good and also the areas where they are doing bad. But above all, it is so that they can know where to improve. That is why we've got this topic in tourism. We want to know our mistakes, but after finding out our mistake, then we need to deal with them, meaning we need to know where to improve them. So unless we are told whether we are doing good or bad, then we will not know where to improve. Meaning, customer feedback does what? It provides the management. The management are the top people there in the company, the CEOs, the supervisors, and so on. So customer feedback provides the management and the staff, right? Remember I said the staff are the ones who are providing what? The service. So in terms of customer feedback provides the management and the staff of a company with valuable information that will help the company to improve. Right? Meaning customer feedback, number one, it will help the tourism business to find out the good things that they are doing and also the bad things that they are doing. But above all, this information will help the company to improve. To improve what? The image of the company, but not only the image of the company, but also the quality of their product and also how they provide their customer service. So those are the reasons why we gather a customer feedback. It provides the management and the staff of a company with valuable information that will not only help to improve the image. When we are talking about the image, we're talking about what? The perceptions, right? So the image in this context, it is the perceptions or views that people have with regards to about their company. So that is the image, how we are seen by the outside world. So customer feedback provides the management and the staff of a company with valuable information that will help the company to not only improve its image, but also to improve the quality of their products and also the quality of its customer service. So that is why we gather what? This customer feedback. There are more reasons, then we're going to discuss them just now. We are saying customers are the most important part of any, listen to this part, of any successful business. So customers are the most important part of any successful business. And the success of a business is dependent on its customers. Therefore, why are we gathering customer feedback? I am saying every suggestion, every complaint, grade 11 work, and every compliment from who? From customers, it helps to create a better business. That is why we are gathering what? Customer feedback. Every suggestion, every input, every complaint, right? In grade 11, we spoke about criticism, right? We also spoke about different ways on how to deal with customers' complaints, whereby we looked at verbal customer complaints and also written customer complaints. So we are saying every suggestion, every complaint, and every compliment, obviously, when you are doing good, they will also tell you good things. From who? From the customer, it helps to create a better business. That is why it is so crucial that we gather what? Customer feedback. Right. And where are we getting this customer feedback? Remember, we are getting it from who? From our clients or from our tourists. That is why we are gathering what? Customer feedback. Because every suggestion from the client, it is needed. Every complaint, right? You look at it constructively, meaning how will this help me? How will this help us as a tourism business? And every compliment from customers, it helps to create what? A better business. And that is why it is very important that we gather what? Customer feedback. Right. Look at this. This is just for visual learners. Obviously, these are images. What do we have here? We have a happy face. Then here you don't have so much happy face, and then this side we've got what? A sad face. So what does this in terms of service? Let's look at this one. The food at ABC Cafe was amazing, meaning here the client it is what? Thrilled. The client it is what? Happy. Did you hear that AB Cafe it is now open? Then obviously people are going to be happy. Then the last one, the service at ABC Cafe was terrible. Right? So these are some of the tools that companies use to do what? Together what? Customer feedback. A good service, then you'll have a yellow. An average service, then you'll have the client. Then now they will want to come to your company. And then here it is when now the company have done what? The tourists have done what? Experienced what? The service by the cafe. Right. We are going to take 2 minutes break. And then in this 2 minutes break, when I come back now, since you now understand what do you mean by what is customer feedback, reasons why we are gathering customer feedback, we know what is a service, we know what is excellent service. Now we need to move to dangers of not collecting customer feedback. So if we are a tourism business and then you don't get a customer feedback, what dangers can this bring to your tourism business? I'm going to be back just now in 2 minutes. See you just now. Right, welcome back. It is me, Mr. Nkonyeni. We are still busy with tourism, whereby we are looking at customer feedback, which is going to be question 10 of your papers. And I said, please ensure that you answer this question. This is whereby you can get 3, 6, if not 8 marks if you're going to pay attention and also attempt to answer this question. We spoke about earlier what customer feedback is. We spoke about excellent service. We spoke about the importance of providing excellent service. And then now we move to reasons why we should get a customer feedback, right? I said customers are the most important part of any successful tourism business. So if you want to be a successful tourism business, you need to ensure or make sure that you collect what? Customer feedback. Why? Because I said every suggestion, every complaint, and every compliment from customers, it helps to create what? A better business. Now let's move to trying to explain the dangers of not collecting or gathering customer feedback. Right. So a business that is not collecting data, that is not collecting this information, the business that is not collecting customer feedback, it will have the following. Number one, you will have unhappy clients, you will have unhappy customers, right? As much as you'll be providing your services or your products, then people will not be happy with your tourism products or services. Remember, this is what I spoke about. Sorry, this is happy, and then this one is just okay, and then here it is very sad. So we need to avoid this, and then all our clients, they need to have this face. So if you do not collect customer feedback, then you will have what? Unhappy and dissatisfied clients. Number two, you are running a risk of losing your potential and also your regular what? Customers and clients. What do I mean by potential? Your potential clients are those people who might, if you go and sell your products or services well to them, then they might be attracted to your customers. But if you do not collect customer feedback, then it would happen that you are still receiving what? Bad service. Then you will be running a risk because you will not know where you are doing good, you will not know where you are doing bad. You will just continue to be just a normal company. Then you will run a risk of losing your potential clients and also your regular what? Customers, because they aim, it is so that we want to have what? Repeat tourism. We want to retain our customers. We want them to come to us time and again. So if we do not collect or gather customer feedback, then we are running a risk of losing our potential and regular customers. Right. Number three, from business studies, your company will have bad reputation or bad image. Right. Remember, people spread word of mouth advertising. We call it this in business language. It is word of mouth advertising. Right. So people talk, people say things. So once they've experienced your restaurant or once they've experienced the cuisine that you offer, or once people have experienced the hospitality, good hospitality, then they will do what? They will go and talk about you. They will go and talk about your tourism business. So we call it what? Word of mouth advertising. So if you are not collecting customer feedback, then your company will have what? Bad reputation or bad image. If you are not collecting customer feedback, you are also running a risk of receiving what? A negative word of mouth advertising, right? Word of mouth advertising, right? So your business will run a risk of getting what? A negative word of mouth advertising. Another point, if you do not collect customer feedback, then you will have disloyal customers. They will only come to you when another shop is closed. They will only come to you when you are the last option. Then you will have what? Disloyal customers. We also said, remember that we've got people who are offering customer service to their clients. So if you are busy not collecting customer feedback, then you will have unmotivated employees, you will have unmotivated staff, right? Your staff will just be one more. People will not even enjoy to come to your workplace. And all this will result in labor shortages, meaning people will not, you will not have what? Enough people and so on to come and work for you. So that is why we spoke about the importance of gathering what? Customer feedback. So collect customer feedback so that you can know how your customers feel about your products and services. And in turn, the benefit is that you'll have happy customers, you'll have satisfied customers, you will not lose your clients, you will have a good reputation, and your business will have what? Good word of mouth advertising if you collect what? Customer feedback. Right. I'm also saying, especially for people out there at home again, please ensure that you take customer feedback very serious, especially if you visited a place or enjoyed a product or a service. Take your time to do what? To respond. If you get a call, or if you are given a questionnaire, or if you are given a comment card and then they say, please can you complete this in a minute or two, please take your time, because after today we need to know that it is very important that we get what? Customer feedback. Right, then I will move to some more writing that we need to do. The purpose of customer feedback. These ones, they need to be written down. Right. Why should we gather customer feedback? And then I am saying it is for the business to improve. Right? It is not really a repetition of what I said, but the purpose of customer feedback, it is for the business to improve its image, how we are seen out there. Number two, it is for the business to improve the quality of its product and also what? The services. So customer feedback will help the tourism business or any other business to improve its image. Obviously, if you are going to be dealing with all those complaints, all those suggestions, and maintain if you are getting what? Good compliments. Another purpose of gathering customer feedback, it is for innovation. When we are talking about innovation here, we are talking about what? Maybe new things. So when you get a customer feedback, your customers might be innovative and so on. They might end up helping you by giving you what? New ideas on how to run your company, on how to run your services, on how to run your tourism products and services. So another purpose of gathering customer feedback, it is for what? It is for innovation, right? I said it's for improve. Then number two, it is for what? Innovation, because the client might suggest what? New ideas, and you might take those ideas and use them for your business, right? Another main big reason why we are gathering customer feedback, it is for external performance feedback. Why external? Right. Remember, we are saying external, it is from outside. So customers may identify the areas that the company is not doing well. So that external feedback is very important because this comes from outside. So for us as a business, we might say, no, we are doing good, but unless we collect customer feedback, then we will not get the new ideas from outside. So external performance feedback will help us to get what new ideas from outside, from the people who are enjoying our tourism products and services. Another purpose, it is so that we can retain the customers, right? To retain, we talk about here in tourism context, we've got something known as repeat tourism. Right? You don't want to be getting new customers all the time. Yes, you want them, but above all, customer feedback can help your business to retain or to keep your customers, right? So customer feedback can help to keep the current customers and not lose them, because you want them to come to us again and again and again. We want them to choose us over other tourism businesses. That's why we're gathering customer feedback. Another one, it is for advance warning, right? A tourism business might be running and all along think that they are doing extremely well. But the purpose of a customer feedback, it is for advance what warning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 p.m. It can be a tool to warn the company of the upcoming trends, right? New things that are coming. It can also be a tool to warn the company of the problem areas with its products or services and new ideas for distribution, especially for our tourism, some of our tourism products and so on. So once we gather customer feedback, we can get new ideas on how to do certain things in our business. One, it is to improve the image of our company and also the quality of our products and services. Two, we gather customer feedback for innovation. What do I mean by that? We might get new ideas that have been suggested by who? By our customers. Number three, we need to gather customer feedback because of the external performance feedback, meaning customers may identify areas that the company is not doing well. Number four, we do customer feedback because it can help us to retain our customers, meaning it can help us to keep our current customers and not lose them. Here we're talking about what? Repeat tourism. The last one we are saying, the purpose of customer feedback, it is for advance warning, meaning it can be a tool to warn the company of the upcoming trends, the problem areas with its products or services, and above all, give us new ideas for distribution, meaning how we can distribute our tourism products and so on. I'm going to give you a minute here so that you can write down these reasons. They might ask you to give us one, if not two, but we need them more or less in this format. I'll be back just now. Right. I hope you have jotted down those reasons. We gather customer feedback because it might help us to improve the image of our business and also the quality of our products and services. Number two, this is for innovation, meaning what? New ideas or new suggestions, right? From who? From our clients. External performance. External, these are the people from outside, right? Customers may identify the areas that the company is not doing well, and at times it is the areas that the company is not even aware that they are doing bad on them. Customer feedback will help us to retain or to keep, right? To retain means to keep our current customers or clients or tourists. So it can help to keep the current customers and not lose them. Remember, we don't want to lose them. And the last reason, it is for advanced warning. It can be a tool to warn the company of the upcoming trends, problem areas with its products or services, and new ideas for distribution of our tourism products and services. Then now I need to move to methods. When I say methods, I'm talking about tools that companies can use to gather the customer feedback, right? So what methods, right? What channels do tourism business or any other business for that reason can use to do what? To obtain or to gather customer feedback. Method number one, it is a survey, right? So what do you mean by this? So when you gather a survey, let us say you are a tourism business, right? Then when you are a tourism business, then you need to do what? Formulate a set of questions, right? So we need to be very careful here, especially if you are the marketing manager for your tourism business, because you are the one who will be in charge of all this. So you need to do what? Formulate a survey. What is a survey? It's more or less like a questionnaire, which is a set of questions. Be very careful here if you are a tourism business. One, people do not have time and we are very busy. So if you are going to be formulating long questions and so on, then people will not even do what? Give you their time to obtain customer feedback. So we need to be very aware of that when we go out there to gather customer feedback, we ensure that our questions are very short, direct, and straight to the point. Why? Because as I said, people do not have what? Time, right? Immediately after they've experienced your service, they want to go, right? So you need to come up with strategies in order for you to convince them to do what? To give you this information. So what is channel or method number one? It is a survey. It is a set of questions. What are we saying here? People are asked direct and or indirect questions, right? Focusing on their opinions and thoughts about the service level and product quality. Obviously, here, this will be after people have bought your product or after people have experienced the service. So the first method that a tourism business can use is to conduct what? A survey. That questions. A survey also indicates what? Areas requiring what? Improvement, right? So you don't just ask them a question. Let me just think of one just now. Obviously, you will say, please take 2 minutes. If you said 2 minutes, you need to ensure that that survey can take 2 minutes for people to complete. Please take 2 minutes or 5 minutes of your time to complete this survey for us, right? Maybe it will have something more or less like this. Then here you will have your please what. Then here you will have your questions. Your questions. Sometimes it will have boxes, right? whereby there's people are just ticking. Sometimes it will be yes or no questions and so on. Then people just tick or just circle, right? Then in this one, it is going to be saving what time. If we have yes or no, okay, for example, was the service the one that we was our housekeeping, for example, was our housekeeping of good quality, then the client will say yes or no. Then have a follow-up question when you're formulating a survey. Please identify, for example, areas where we can improve. Then they can tell you which areas they can improve, especially if you want, if you are going to be using a survey, right? So the first one, when you are using a survey, people are asked direct or indirect questions, right? Obviously, direct question if it is a face-to-face one. Indirect question if maybe going to send them the survey via an email and so on. People are asked direct or indirect questions focusing on their opinions and thoughts about the service and the product quality. Surveys indicate what areas requiring improvement. It also enables the company to remedy their service and product problems before customers decide to take their business somewhere else, right? Then that is the first method. People are asked direct or indirect questions focusing on their opinions and thoughts about the service levels and the product quality. They indicate the areas requiring improvement, and also they enable the company to remedy their service and product problems before the customers decide to take their business somewhere else. Then we move to method number 2. This one is more or less like a questionnaire. It's like a survey. Then we've got questionnaires. This is method number 2. It is a set of questions that have been formulated to gather specific information from who? From customers. A questionnaire. It is a set of questions that have been formulated to gather specific information from customers. When you are doing this one again, remember I said customers do not have time. You need to remember the reason why you are doing this. So if you're going to decide to do a questionnaire, ensure the following. 1, make sure that you've got open-ended questions, right? We don't want long things and so on. Your questions must be direct and straight to the point. Number 2, when you are busy formulating your questionnaire, make sure that your questions are short. Have clear instructions on how to complete the questionnaire. Must they tick, right? Or if it is online, must they click, right? If they are rating, have that scale, maybe 1 to 2 or 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 to 10. Then give clear instructions on how to complete that particular survey. Obviously, 1 to 2 will be extremely bad, 3 to 4 will be of average, 5 to 6 will be beyond average, 7 to 8 will be good, and then 9 to 10 will be excellent. Or they must just click if it is an online one, or they must just tick or circle. So we are saying when you're doing a questionnaire, ensure that your customers have been given what? Clear instructions on how to complete it. And then the last tip there, we are saying a questionnaire uses what? Simple and direct language. Those are the things that you need to do. So when you use a questionnaire to gather customer feedback, it is a set of questions that have been formulated to gather specific information from the customers. A survey, people are asked direct or indirect questions focusing on their opinions about the service they have received. Then we move to method number 3. This one has 2 names, right? This one, it is one of the mostly used methods to gather customer feedback. So they will just give you a small card. please, as I said, take your time to do what? To convince your clients to do what? To gather this information. A feedback card or a comment card, right? Feedback card or a comment card. Comment means say something, right? It is used to collect opinions and suggestions again about the company's service and product, right? Remember here, customers, they don't write their names and so on, so we don't need that. So remember, they have no contact information, obviously that card. Where we can find feedback cards, they are usually placed in suggestion boxes in a hotel or guest room. This is where you can put it. They are very useful because they save what? Time. Remember, I said we need to remember that tourists or our clients, they do not have time. So that feedback card, it can be a small card about your business as well. Then you have your questions there, question there. This one, maybe they just tick again. They just tick, and then at the end, after ticking, let us say maybe here you are talking about our laundry service. How was our laundry service? Then maybe you can put the faces, good, bad, what. That is the laundry. The second question may be about the room service. How was the room service? They will tell again. They just tick good, bad, or what. And then the question, let us say, it's about the food or it is about the parking and so on. But at the end, you need to tell us. Maybe you can just say, tell us more on what we can do to improve. Then on that small card, obviously you leave maybe 4 or 5 lines. Then at the end, have a message to say thank you for completing this information. So when you say tell us more on what to improve, this is where now you'll be able to gather what? The new ideas and so on from the customer. So give them a section whereby they can also be able to take time to comment. Then is it the fourth one? Yes. Then the fourth method that is used, this one again, it is very important and cheap as well. Follow-up calls, right? Follow-up calls. These ones, they evaluate again the level of service received by customers. We normally get this one only if I've taken my car at VW for a service, and you normally send me call me back to ask me how was the service, and I'm normally truthful. So follow-up calls, they evaluate what the level of service received by a customer. So how does the follow-up call means? An employee, someone employed by the company, will contact the customer telephonically. Remember, in tourism context, remember here, when people come and book our stay, they normally also give us their contact details. Contact details will be their telephone numbers or their cell phone numbers on their email. So with a follow-up call, then they will call you. Good day, may we speak to Mr. So-and-so. It is Samgelo from Protea Hotel, for example. Could you please take 2 minutes of your time to give me this information? Why are you calling? I'm calling because I want you to give us information on the service that you have received when you stayed by us. Do you have time? Yes. Then fast. So an employee will contact the customer few days or hours after they have left or used or received the product and ask them how they feel about the service. Then that is what? That is a follow-up call. An employee will contact the customer telephonically a few days after they have left or used or received the product and ask them the product or service and ask them how they feel about the service. Then we call it what? Follow-up calls. So don't ignore them. If you have visited a particular place and then they call you, then try by all means that you listen you give them the feedback. Also, I know with DSTV as well, they do the same thing. If you had a problem with signal and so on, then we had to call. Banks also do this. Make sure that you rate those people, because remember, I said the main important thing it is so that these people can do what? Can improve. Method number 5. It is SMS messages on cell phone. And SMS stands for what? Short message services. And SMS stands for what? Short message services. And this one, remember I said that customers are very busy, right? So when you do an SMS one, obviously, remember I said again, when people usually book a place, they normally leave their contact details. This is how as a business you can be able to get the information. So this one, an SMS, it allows the customers to respond by texting or SMSing their feedback to customers. To the business. It allows the customer to respond by texting or SMSing their feedback to the business. Right. Once you visited a certain place or experienced them, then they will say to you, maybe you get an SMS. They are very careful now, or very smart. They will say, this will not cost you anything. You just need to respond. So it allows the customer to respond by texting or SMSing their feedback to the business. The customer will get an SMS to respond, usually for free, and rate a service most of the time, because remember I said they don't have time. They will say on a scale between 1 to 10. Remember I said when you formulate all this customer feedback, ensure that you have clear instructions in terms of what must the customer do. So maybe the SMS will say, please rate the service that you have received from Pactonian Hotel or so and so Vilakazi restaurant and so on, or Mandela restaurant. The customer will get an SMS to respond, usually for free, and rate a service on a scale between 1 to 10. For example, they will say 1 to 3 being poor, 4 to 6 being very good or average, and then 7 to 10 being excellent. So obviously, based on what we have received, all that we have to do to respond is to press 3, or to press 9, or to press 10, or to press 8, or to press 6 or 7, depending on the level of service. But I'm saying this is one of the cheapest, and above all, it will save time for you, tourism business. And it is also an easy way to collect what? Data. That is what? SMS messages on a cell phone. Then the last method, it is web-based responses, right? Web-based responses. This one is very dangerous for a tourism business or any business. Why am I saying this? Remember here, customers, what do? They say whatever on the website. And whoever that needs to book your place, especially now because of technology, where do we run to first? We run to the website. Then when you go to the website, we also have reviews on the app. We normally read it, so you need to be very careful. In tourism context, you've got TripAdvisor. So all those reviews from the website and so on, or on the app, remember here they are seen by everyone, the business and also your clients or your potential clients. Unlike the other 5 that we have discussed, follow-up calls, the response, it is received by who? By the company only. The questionnaires, the response, it is received by who? By the company only. Telephone call, the SMSs, the surveys, the response, it is received who? By the company. But on the website, then this is very dangerous because everyone can see those reviews. Especially if you are doing bad things, then they will not choose you. So what happens now with a web-based response? the customer visit the company's website and follow easy steps and share their their views and feelings with the company and customers on the website. The customer will visit the company's website and follow easy steps and share their views and feelings with the company with the company and customers on the website. So hence I'm saying this one, it is very dangerous. And I say the danger is that the reviews can be seen by everyone that visits the website. So try by all means to avoid this, having this web-based response. So how many methods do we have to collect customer feedback? I said the first one, it is surveys, right? We can collect a customer feedback by using surveys. The second one, we can collect a customer feedback by using questionnaires. The third one, we can collect customer feedback by using feedback cards or comment cards. The fourth one, we can use the collect customer feedback by doing follow-up calls. The fifth one, we can use customer feedback by doing SMSs on cell phones. And the last method to obtain customer feedback, it is web-based responses. And I said this one, it is very dangerous. Right. Now we are moving to, especially those ones in Gauteng province. They like to ask about this one, steps to analyzing customer feedback. Now we know what is customer feedback. We know how to gather customer feedback. We know which method to use. Now we need to move to steps. Now this is there now by the tourism business. Once we have received that customer feedback, something must be done with that information. And when I say steps in tourism context, be careful. It means it is a process. Steps, it is a process to analyze what? Customer feedback. So you cannot skip step 1 and do step 4. So it has to be what? Follow what? It has to follow what? The correct order. Now, as a tourism business, we have received the information and so on and so on. But we are saying something must be done with that customer feedback. So we're going to be looking at steps on how to analyze what? Customer feedback. What is step number 1? Step number 1, study the feedback, right? This is where by now you're going to need maths, you're going to need people who know how to gather data. Then you're going to do graphs and so on. We need to write down as a team. Obviously, not everyone in the company. Study the feedback. What do you do when you are busy studying that feedback? You study and capture the data. Data is the information to determine what? The extent of customer satisfaction. Study the feedback and capture the data. What do you do when you are busy doing? You must record and identify the most common complaints. Right? Not everything. Right? Not everything needs to be noted. But the most, when we are saying the most, remember I said to you earlier, the importance of customer feedback, it is because you want to improve. So when you are busy studying and capturing that information, you need to record and identify the most common complaints, because then you know those are the areas that needs what to be rectified or that needs to be dealt with. Also, when you are busy studying and capturing that feedback, you need to record and identify issues that need to be sorted out. Maybe our complaint as a tourism business, maybe you are offering what? Shuttle service, right? Maybe the main important complaint there, it is cleanliness, right? Maybe the cars are not tidy. The second problem, maybe as a tourism business, let us say a slow peak. What do you mean by that? People are very slow. So this one has to do with what? With time, right? Maybe problem number 3, our people, they are unfriendly, right? Remember, facial expressions also, they communicate something. So maybe this could be our main problems. Or noise, yes. Maybe our problem was noise. Our hotel was very noisy and so on. Or the food was not nice and so on. So what are you trying to do here? We are trying to identify what? The most common complaints and issues to be rectified. Study the feedback and capture data. That is what? That is step number 1. Then we move to step number 2. What must you do again? In step 2, yes, we have gathered. Now you identify the most common complaints. How? You only focus on ongoing complaints. You check the negative comments. Why? Because you will know, oh, these are the areas that particularly does what? Need what? Our attention as a tourism business. You identify the ongoing complaints. You identify the negative comments that come time and again. Then you know these are the areas that us as a tourism business needs to focus on. So what is step 1? Step 1, study the feedback and capture data, right? Step 2, identify the most common complaints. What do you do when you do that? You identify ongoing complaints, you identify the negative comments, because they are the ones that needs the management to focus on. Step number 3, right? You need now as the management and your staff to decide on action plan. That, oh, well, what were those complaints? Let me check. Oh, our problem is that our place, it is not clean. Number 2, it is that our people are very slow, or they don't have time management, or our staff, it is unfriendly. Our place, it is very noisy. So now on step 3, now this is whereby now you are coming up with an action plan to deal with those most common complaints or most common problems that we have identified from our clients. So an action plan, we are saying the tourism business, particularly the management, the customer service manager or something, now must do what? Develop an effective plan to improve. Remember, people, if you are working in a tourism business, you do not just fire people, right? You don't just fire people. Hence, I spoke about the importance of what? Of making sure that, why are we gathering customer feedback? It is because you want to improve, right? So ensure that you have employed people that are well qualified, ensure that you have interviewed people, ensure that you have people that have been recommended and so on. Ensure that you know people that are good salesmen and saleswomen. So once you have identified those problems, on step number 3, now as a business manager, you must decide on action plan. You do not just fire people. What do you mean by an action plan? Develop an effective plan to improve the product or the service, right? Develop an effective plan to improve the product or service while retaining the aspects of the business that are functioning well. Remember, when you gather that information on your step 1, some of the things are good. So note those things again so that you can retain or can keep on doing those good things. So the action plan has to deal only with the things that need improvement and so on. So that's what you must do there on action plan. What are we going to do as a company? What can we do to improve our service levels? What can we do to make sure that our staff are friendly? Identify those problems. Go to your staff. What is it that you are doing wrong? And so on and so on. Then step 4, start the intervention process. Right? Start the intervention process. What do you mean by this? Now we want corrective measures. Right? Corrective measures to turn the negative feedback into positive feedback. Right, so that is an intervention. Now, what can you do? For example, as a tourism business, so step 4, you must implement the action plan. Maybe you take your staff to do training courses. Right? If maybe our main problem was maybe friendliness, maybe you take your staff to make sure that you take them to do courses that speak about the importance of offering excellent service, how to provide excellent service, and so on. Then you train your staff. So you don't just fire your people. So during intervention process, now you implement what? The action plan. That's what we're trying to say there. Right. Before we move to the activity, let me just go back to the steps. Special dose learners from our province, Gauteng province. These steps are very important. What is step number 1? After gathering feedback, study the feedback and capture it. That is a process. 2, identify the most common complaints. How do you do that? You identify ongoing complaints that come time and again. The ones that give negative attention to our business. Identify ongoing complaints or negative comments as they are the ones that need attention. 3, decide on an action plan. Now, what must we do? Develop an effective plan to improve the product or service, right? Also noting down the good things or aspects, the good aspects of your business. Step number 4, now you need to start the intervention process. What do you do there? Now you implement what? The action plan. Do I need to train my staff? You go and discuss the good things that the company is doing, the bad things that the company is doing. If our staff are demotivated, you come up with strategies on how to improve them. You say good things to them as a manager. You when they have done good, you say well done to them and so on. You give them incentives, you give them bonuses. These are the things that can be able to do what? To motivate them to do what is that. You give them responsibilities and so on and so on. Right. Now we move to the last thing before the activity, whereby now I'm going to be talking about what impact would a good or excellent, I said I don't want good service, let me replace it by excellent. What impact would an excellent service delivery have on the company's profit? Profit, remember, it is revenue or a business. So if you are a tourism business and then you gather customer feedback and then you deal with it, what will happen? The first thing, your tourism business will have increased sales. Right? More people will come to your business. They will know about you, your products. They will go time and again. Your company will be booked during peak season, during off-peak season, your business will be booming. So when you offer excellent service, the big advantage is that the tourism business will have increased sales. Number 2, the tourism business will have what? Repeat tourism. What do you mean by this? Customers or tourists will return to your business. That's what you call what? Repeat tourism. Number 3, customers loyalty, meaning customers will buy your products time and again because you are offering what? Excellent service. You are also gathering customer feedback. Point number 4, your tourism business will have what? Good public image, right? The way it is seen outside and so on. The last 2, you will have more happy and effective employees, because they will know that their business, it is doing what is expected. And the last one, you will have what? Motivated staff that are willing time and again to go extra mile, staff that are willing to go beyond the call of duty. So what impact would offering an excellent service have on a company's business? Number one, increased sales. You know, the more people buy our products, the more people buy our services, it is the more the company will make what? A turnover or a profit. The more we offer excellent service, it is the more what? Customers will be loyal and return to us. The more customers, we offer excellent service, it is the more we're going to have what? A repeat tourism. When other businesses will be suffering, ours will be booming. The more we offer excellent service, what will happen? Our company will have what? Good public image. The business may even expand. The more we offer excellent service, what will happen? We'll have more happy and effective employees. And the last one will have what? Motivated staff. So these are some of the things that they may ask you to discuss. The last thing before the activity now. Remember I said this is building from grade 10 and 11, because we also have some learners who did not do tourism in grade 10 and 11 due to COVID or changing subjects and so on. Now, how to avoid bad customer feedback? What must you do? Listen to your customers, right? Remember, they've given you customer feedback. Listen to them. When you listen to them, then we can improve. Number two, don't take bad customer feedback personally, right? Remember, I spoke about what in grade 11 we did constructive criticism. So constructive criticism, you must see the bad feedback as something to help you to do what? To improve, right? Offer a sincere apology. Once you have received feedback, we need to deal with that. Remember, you need to what? To offer sincere apology. Take responsibility as a tourism business for doing bad or not doing good. Know your tourism products and services. Also ensure that you employ people who are good salesmen and saleswomen who also know their stuff. Know your customers. Right? Once you know your customers, then immediately when they come, then you will know, oh, this one likes their coffee like this. This one likes their bed being made like this, and so on. Above all, treat people with respect. The people who are working in the tourism industry particularly, they need to ensure that they treat everyone, regardless of race, color, and age, with respect, because the main thing is that we want to receive good customer feedback and also to to retain our customers. Never argue, right? Never say, no, it's a tourism business, blah, blah, blah. No. Remember that the customer, in some instances, it is always what? Right. Always keep your promises, right? Always keep your promises as a tourism business. Do not lie. Do not avoid false advertising as well, right? Avoid false advertising. Hence, I'm saying always keep your promises, and above all, give the customers the benefit of the doubt. Go beyond the call of duty and provide excellent service. So how to avoid bad customer feedback? Listen to your customers. Don't take criticism personally. Offer a sincere apology. Take responsibility. Know your products or services. Know your customers. Treat people with respect. Never argue. Always keep your promises. Avoid false advertising and give your customers the benefit of the doubt. Now we will move to doing our activities. It's not a lot. I just have 2 activities for today. But remember, I said for this topic, you can get free 6 marks or 8 marks and so on. So please make sure that you do answer your question 10 on your prelim and also your final papers. Let's check some of our activities. Activity 1, right? What are we saying here? Study the picture. Study it is a verb. Study. It means you need to analyze the picture, right? Study the picture below. Can you see? This is from question 10. Remember, I said this is going to be question 10. So I know my stuff this way. Heading. Study the picture below and answer the question for 6 marks. Right? Remember, I said make sure that you have answered question 10 on your papers. Do not leave it out. Let's study and check. Training for employees. Training for employees. Then what do we have here? We've got a gent there. Then what is he doing? He's on a call. Then you know these are methods to obtain what? Customer feedback. So which customer feedback that is used? What? Can you see he's talking over the cell phone? Then it is what? It is a follow-up call. Then check. Surprise them with a personal call. What did Mr. Boyen say we're going to deal with in question 10? It is customer feedback. Then check. Were you satisfied with our product and service? Then this person is talking to the client. This is what visual literacy. What have you done now? You have studied the picture. Then you go to the question. For 2 marks. 10.1. Identify the customer feedback method shown in the picture above. Remember, we dealt with how many methods to obtain customer feedback? 6. So not all of them will come to the on your paper, but you need to study and know all of them. So which one? When you analyze the picture, it says surprise them with a personal call. So which method do we have there? We have follow-up calls. I'll just check on the memo. Then when you have follow-up calls, then you have what? Your 2 marks, right? Then 10.2, explain 2 ways how the feedback method mentioned in 10.1 helps to improve the level of service delivery of the tourism business. Now, this is going to be a paragraph question. Now, you need to explain what is it that they want here. Basically, they want you to explain the reasons why we gather customer feedback. Let's check what the memo says. The correct one, it is what? A follow-up call. Then I was right, or a personal call, or survey, or cell phone, or telephone. But the correct one there, it is follow-up calls. You get your 2 marks. Now let's check 10.2. Let's read the question again. Explain 2 ways how the feedback method helps to improve the level of service delivery of the tourism business, for 4 marks. The feedback gathered from the client, it is used to evaluate what? The service delivered. You get your 2 marks. It also helps to ensure the satisfaction levels of the customers are established. The message that the tourism business cares about its customers are demonstrated. This is about what? The importance of what? Of customer feedback. The information captured can be used to improve what? The service delivery levels at the business. So it is basically about what is the importance of customer feedback. Why should we gather what? Customer feedback. Staff performance can be rated outside of purely reaching sales targets, or quick feedback and problems are addressed immediately. So these are some of the things or aspects that you could be looking for on your paragraph question. Very easy. 6 marks. The second activity before I conclude, then they are saying study the infographics right below and answer the question. Take customer feedback seriously. Analyzing of customer feedback. Remember when I spoke about what? Those steps. The steps that I spoke about. Study and capture the feedback. Determine the extent of customer satisfaction. Identify the most common complaints. decide on action plan, and start the intervention process. What did I speak about here? These are the 4 steps on how to analyze what customer feedback. What is step number 1? There it is, 1, then 2, then there's step 3, and then there's step what? 4. You need to analyze. They said study the infographics. It is what? Pictures with what? Information, visual traits. Then they are saying, give one reason, simple, one reason why tourism product owners must not ignore customer complaints. Hence, I dealt with customer complaints. Why must you not ignore customer complaints or customer feedback? Let's check the memo. If customers' complaints are not addressed, they may choose to take their business somewhere else, meaning we're going to lose our customers, right? The customers may spread negative word of mouth advertising about their business. If complaints are addressed, it will ensure customer loyalty. The business will lose its competitive advantage. What do you mean by this? The client will go somewhere else to a business that takes them serious or takes their complaints serious. So that's what that question was about. Reasons why tourism products owners must not ignore customer complaints. Then the last question, explain the difference between action plan and intervention process for 4 marks. Remember, I said to you, step 3 is to decide on an action plan, meaning what must we do or what can we do to address what? The problems. Step 4, it is the intervention process. What are we doing now? We are implementing what? The things that we spoke about in an action plan. So the question is, differentiate between action plan and the intervention process. Let's check that for free 6 marks again. Make sure that you answer what? Your question 10. Let's check. An action plan, it is a plan that a business develops to address the common complaints by the customers. Okay, 2 marks. An intervention plan, it is the process or intervention process refers to the plan that was put in action to ensure what? The continued success of the business. Then this is where I'm going to end. Right. What have we dealt with today? We looked at customer feedback, right? I also explained the importance of excellence. I explained what is service. Then I moved to explaining service excellence. After service excellence, I moved to explaining what methods to obtain customer feedback. From there, I also spoke about the importance of customer feedback. I also gave you what reasons why we need to ensure that we deal with customer complaints. I also spoke about the reasons that why we gather what customer feedback. Then I also spoke about what the benefits of obtaining customer feedback for the client. Then I close by looking at the activities. Thank you for joining our tourism lesson today. Please remember to wear your mask. Please remember to practice social distancing and to study. Babagai Abonga was here. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.